this back. I'm gonna bring this back to the like poor tendencies thing, but it's so funny that like, you know, her and I are in a lot of ways so opposite.
Yeah.
Because she has, and I'll bring this back to the poor tendencies in a little bit. You'll see, but like. She is an extrovert. Mm-hmm. Like whenever she's out and about and like things are flowing really well and like all of a sudden she has like limitless, boundless energy. Mm-hmm. I'm an introvert, but I'm really good in social situations.
You are, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
You really
I have the ability of saying like, oh, I have to be social. All right, I'm gonna run the room. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I will run the room. Whatever it is, whatever conversation I need to be having, however conversation I need to be having it, whatever the goal is from the conversation, like let's go. Like, you know, I got you. Let's do it. At the end of the night, I might feel fucking drained, but I can do it. Nice. I am an introvert by design. By default, yeah. I rather be by myself. I rather be in the dark. I rather like to the point where like again the poor tendencies. When she started living with me in the duplex, I take showers in the dark, and that's super weird. I didn't think it was weird for a long time, but I really do. When she started living with me, I would take showers in the dark, and I don't know why. I don't know if you asked me this directly or if I came to this conclusion separately, but I'm like, oh, like, I wonder if, like, she thinks that I'm taking showers in the dark to save energy. To not have the light bill high. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And it was like, no,
really are gonna think that, man, she probably is a real dusty
yeah, like imagine
you're
someone
stingy as fuck, trying not to turn the light on while I shower. Right. I'm just trying to feel the feels.
Even now, I'm like, I rather be in the dark whenever I'm showering, and it's such a weird tendency that people might interpret as like, boy, did you grow up poor or what? Like you didn't have like, where's your bucket? Like, because we used to take showers with the bucket when the boiler went off, like in the winter, like I had to take showers with the little bucket.
Mom, we would boil the water.
To be fair, one, I don't think I ever thought that because I also didn't notice for a very long time. I think you actually.
But you were the one that, or did I point it out, or did you point it out?
I think you mentioned it to me.
I don't know why I felt like you pointed it out.
I don't think I ever pointed it out, or no, maybe I did. Maybe all of a sudden I seen it and I was like, why do you take showers in the dark? And it just, if anything, it just weirded me out. I'm like, how do you know where everything is? I would be knocking shit down left and right. Like I would fall dark in that
bitch. But again, you remember when I lived by myself, I'm like, everything is where I left it.
And that was he also does that just with the house though, where like he doesn't like to have a lot of lights on, so he just knows like how to walk around, especially in the duplex. He just knew how to walk around the duplex without like banging into shit. And I was like having to walk around, turn on lights, so I'm like, bro, I'm gonna fall and crack my skull open. But with that, the other thing I wanted to say, I definitely didn't think that because of the fact that at the time I was living with you, because I was living in a van, #van life. It was my choice. I wasn't just like homeless, you know. But anyways, and I really was showering in a bucket. So I definitely wasn't gonna judge you on the way that you lived your life, even if it was broke tendencies. Honestly, if anything, if you would have told me like, oh, I'm just trying to save some money on lights, I would have been like, oh, bet, yeah, no, that makes sense. That's smart. Makes sense. But you're like, no, but other people might look at that.
Like, I'm so grateful for her so much because like other people might look at that and be like, bro, what the fuck? Yeah, like you can turn on the light. It's not a lot. So, it's like it's 3 cents for the fucking kilowatt or whatever the fuck.
I feel like introverted tendencies are very interesting because I'm an introvert. Like I think all three of us as a family. In fact,
I think mom's probably the only extrovert.
Yeah. Mom's like great at being around people. All the rest of us are like, yeah, nah, it's not.
We'd rather be by ourselves.
And I'm not the kind of person that can turn it off. Like I can't just go into a social setting and be like, right, my job right now is to do this. Well, no, never mind.
But you're pretty good at being social too.
I'm lying to you. No, it is.
But for you, it might be a distraction. Like you might be using it as like
mine is 100% a distraction.
Oh, I'm not trying to think about shit right now.
And it's gonna happen when I'm like buzzed or something. Right. Like I'm good at being social. I'm a friendly person. That's what it is. I'm not an introvert that's like Alex. That's like, no, yes.
Yeah.
No,
like that's also antisocial.
Yeah, he's like, yes. I mean, I'm very social, just introverted. So I prefer to be alone.
Yeah.
Even with a child, I prefer to be alone. In fact, I feel like my tendency to want to be on my own and do things on my own has been the reason why everything's developed the way it's developed in my life, in terms of like who I've chosen to spend my life with, as opposed to not spending my life with.
Right, that's a good point.
Because I valued it so much that I was like, I didn't realize that it was that important in like my development as a human. And it's crazy.
I always struggled with dating because
you're not alone in the whole showering in the dark though.
You shower in the dark too? You see, it's not just me.
That's why I was like, wait, you do that? Like
I shower in the dark. I love it.
I find it so much more weird that you shower in the dark for like your peace of mind, more so than like if it would have been a broke tendency and trying to save money on the light bill, I'd been like, oh, bet I'll turn off all the lights.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, okay, so like I will shower.
I shower in the dark. It makes me feel so like peaceful. It makes me feel so
in
like
the dark.
Yeah.
I will turn off. So like it's a little hard to shower in the dark when you have a child running in and out of the restroom. But like when I don't have her, let's say she's for some reason I don't have her, and I
have to be even more specific. It's especially because it's a duplex. It's not even just the dark. Pitch fucking black.
You liked it when the door was closed.
With the door was closed, and I had the blacked out window, and I would fucking go to.
Oh yeah.
I felt like I was in a void.
Yes.
And it felt fantastic.
Okay. So I feel like for it's weird, but it's not weird because I 100% love doing that. So like whenever my kid's not there, and picture this. Now that the new apartment's remodeled, there is no window in that apartment anymore, in that restroom.
Even better.
No window at all. So I will turn off all the lights, and maybe this is weird, but I don't like to even close the blinds whenever like I'm like when I'm showering in general, because I'm just used to having to be like making sure the child isn't doing anything. Yeah. But even when I do that and I turn off all the lights, and I always seem to have music on, because I there is one thing I don't like to not hear anything. So like I like everything being dark, but I like to hear. I am a very big like what's going on in my background, like what's the background music looking like right now. So I'll just put something on, whatever, and I will shower in the 100% dark.
In the dark. But it's so weird because whenever we started
cleanse me for like a good moment.
Whenever we started living together, I'm so glad that like we were friends first, and we were just like I would talk about all these conversations about my goals and my passions and why I did certain things, and you know what I mean? Because I always had such a tough time dating people because I was always really afraid that like they would see a certain aspect of a choice that I made and judge me for it. Yeah. Because it had happened a lot of times. You know what I mean? Albeit, those relationships probably would have worked out anyway. But you know what I mean? Like, I was still like aware in my mind, like, man, people are going to judge me by this dusty ass car. Oh, people are going to judge me by where I live. Oh, you know what I mean? And like make judgments that even I tell myself, like, that's not necessarily a bad judgment to make. Like, if you had to make a judgment, I understand why you made that judgment. Yeah. I don't think that I fit that description, but you never gave me the chance to prove you wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's bummy, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not mad at you. To the point where like I've even asked her before, where I'm just like, do you get bothered by this? Like, do you get bothered that like I can have this, but I choose to do this anyway? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like.
Yeah, like your car.
Yeah, like my car.
yeah, just like little things here and there.
A lack of a bed frame.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Like,
and she's like, no, it doesn't bother me. And I'm like, okay, so this is good. I'm lucky because I'm like,
you vibing because
I'm vibing.
yeah, because no, that's a thing though, because like I have I don't have like those. You just live a really interesting type of life, man, because like you are successful but also conservative, not like
ideologically
not ideologically.
I am not ideologically conservative.
He's definitely
in the
not
slightest,
ideologically conservative at all, or fiscally really, but you just are aware of like what you need to hold back on and where your limits are set, and you are one of those people that knows how to keep that promise to yourself of like, I told myself I was gonna starve for this 6 weeks and not eat a single goddamn carb, and you won't do it.
But this is why